Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a step-by-step Hostinger WordPress tutorial. Over the years, I have built many different websites, and out of all of the hosting providers that I have used, Hostinger is by far the best. So in this video, we will be taking a deep dive and I will be showing you exactly how we can build a WordPress website using Hostinger as our hosting provider. First of all, I will be showing you exactly how we can go ahead and get Hostinger as well as the best Hostinger plan. I will then show you how we can go ahead and install WordPress into Hostinger, and then how to actually build this website step by step, click by click, without any crazy skills or any prior knowledge in building websites. This video is absolutely perfect no matter what kind of experience you have, whether this is your first time ever building a website or if you are experienced in building websites using other platforms. It doesn't matter, and this video contains all of the information that you need. All you have to do is follow along with this tutorial and you will walk away with a beautiful WordPress website that we built using Hostinger. With that intro out of the way, let's jump right into the tutorial. So of course, the first thing that we need to do is actually go ahead and buy our hosting using Hostinger. Now, if you go to Hostinger using the link down in the description, as you can see, you can claim a nice little discount there. So if you go ahead and open that up, click on that link in the description, it's going to take you over to Hostinger right here. Now, I am currently in the UK, which is why it shows pricing in pounds, but using that link, it will just take you over to whatever country you are in, that version of Hostinger. So as you can see, we can go ahead and claim the deal right here. Forget about this timer. This is more of a sales marketing tactic, and you will be able to claim this deal pretty much forever. So if we just go ahead and click on claim deal, you can see that that is going to take us down to choose between these three different options. So what I would recommend is when choosing one of these, just scroll down here and take a look at what you actually get. But my personal recommendation and what I use when I build all of my WordPress websites is the business plan right here. The reason that I go for business over premium is mainly because of this increased performance. What I have found when building websites in the past is with premium, it can hold up well at first, but especially when we start putting in certain plugins and we start using things that are necessary to build the website, it can slow the website down dramatically, and this is just not something that we want. When people are coming to your website and it's slow to load, it can make people click away, and that's really not very helpful. So I usually go for business. The cloud startup over here is a little bit overkill. I have used this, but when building my own websites, I haven't really found much of a difference between the performance with the business and cloud startup. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add to cart with business right here. And then once you have gone ahead and selected your plan, it's going to take you over to this screen right here, where it asks us to choose a period and effectively how long we want to buy hosting for. Now, I would recommend going for any of these three. Just go for anything apart from the monthly right here. The reason is because you can see a massive price difference between the monthly and the 12 months. And on top of this, the monthly doesn't come with a free domain. A domain is usually going to cost you around $15. So with this monthly plan right here, we're paying around $30 for one single month. Whereas if we go with the 12 months, you can see we pay $55, something around this region, and we get a whole year rather than paying $30 for the month. So depending on the website, you can go with 12 months. Especially if you are building a blog, I would recommend the 24 months because it's usually going to take you a year or two to even start seeing traction with the blog that you create. Now for this example, I'm just going to go with 12 months. So I now have that selected, and then we can go down and select the payment method. So we have credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, and then I think this is cryptocurrency here at the bottom. I've never personally used this method, so you can go ahead and use that if you like, but I usually just use credit card. We can then go ahead and fill out all of this information and then hit submit secure payment. Hostinger will then load in and redirect us to the main control panel. So from here, we can just go through and click on Start Now. And then it's going to ask who we are creating the website for. Now it asks us a few questions. These are not super relevant, so it doesn't really matter what you enter here, but I am just going to click on I am creating this for myself. It's then going to ask who is creating the website. So once again, I'm just going to click I'm building this for myself. And then it asks what website do you want to build? Now, once again, it doesn't really matter what you select here. It is not going to have an impact on the actual website that we create. But in here, I'm just going to select portfolio. Under do you need help building your website? You can just go ahead and click on no thanks, as this tutorial will explain everything. It will then take us through to this screen where it asks if we want to create or migrate a website. Now, website migration is if you have already built a website with another hosting provider and you want to transfer over to Hostinger. That is not what we will be doing in this video, so you can just go ahead and click on create new website. From here, it then says select a platform, and this is where we can actually now go ahead and install WordPress into Hostinger. So from both of these options, we are of course going to click on WordPress, and right here, this is where we can now create our WordPress account. So earlier on in the tutorial, right at the start, that is when we created our Hostinger account. And on this screen, we can now create our WordPress account that we will be installing onto Hostinger. So this administrator email will automatically be entered as the same email that you signed up for Hostinger with. I would recommend keeping this the same as it makes things easier. And then you can go ahead and create your WordPress password. From here, we then just want to click on continue. And it's now going to ask if we would like to add any plugins to our website. Now, plugins are fantastic, and we will be adding a few plugins later on. However, the plugins that we get offered here, these are completely redundant. We will not be using any of these, and effectively, these plugins pay Hostinger to be shown up here so that most people will go ahead and install them on the website. The reason that we are not doing this is these plugins are unnecessary, and the more plugins that you have in WordPress, the slower your website is going to be. It's then going to ask us to select a template. We will not be using any of these default templates that you see right here. So just go to the bottom and click on skip I don't need a template, as we will be adding our own template later on. We then have this section that allows you to automate text creation with AI. So once again, just go ahead and skip. And this is where we can now go ahead and name the website. So if you went with one of the yearly plans or higher that I recommended, this is now where we can go ahead and claim the free domain. You can also use and connect up an existing domain if you already have one, or you can also buy a domain if you went for the monthly plan. So just go ahead and click on claim a free domain. And then before we actually go ahead and enter in the domain that you like, all we are going to do is go to the end here, and where it says .me, click on this drop-down menu and select the .com domain. You can then go ahead and enter in the domain that you would like to get. I'm just going to keep this nice and simple and go with GeForce North. And as you can see, this domain is available. So once you have your domain selected, just go ahead and click on continue. Then we can go through this section right here, enter in some contact details, and then finish up this domain registration. So on this screen, just double check the domain is correct and it is a .com domain, and then go ahead and click on finish setup. From here, we then have two options as everything is now set up. We can either go straight through into the WordPress admin panel and start creating the website, or we can go to the control panel of Hostinger. Now, of course, we will be going into WordPress in a minute, but there is just some quick things that we need to do inside of Hostinger on the back end. So from here, just go ahead and click into Manage Site, and that will take you over to the main Hostinger dashboard. Now, the reason that we are going in here is because if you see the domain section right here, just go ahead and click into Manage. And then as you can see, this domain is still pending verification. So what we need to do is just go over to whichever email you created your Hostinger account with, and you should have an email that looks like this. All you need to do is click on the link in this email, and then you will be brought over to this page, which says your email address has been successfully verified. Once you have done this, we can then go back over to Hostinger, And if we hit refresh, you can see the domain information right here. The email address has now been verified, and we now have everything set up with Hostinger. So from here, just to go back over to the main Hostinger dashboard, and then in the top right corner, you should see this button that says admin panel. So we can now click into this, and this is going to take us over to the main WordPress dashboard. Now, by default, we are going to be taken over to this Hostinger page right here. So just go ahead and click on dashboard on this left-hand side. And then you can see the URL at the top is currently yourdomain.com/wordpress-admin/index.php. So all we are going to do here is just delete this index.php. Go back, so it should now be yourdomain.com/wordpress-admin. Just hit enter here. And then it's always a good idea just to go ahead and bookmark this tab so that we can access this WordPress dashboard very easily in a bookmark rather than having to go through Hostinger every time. So I'm just going to go ahead and bookmark this tab right here. And as I say, this just makes it much easier where I can open a new tab, click into the dashboard, and just like that, we are now taken straight back over to the WordPress admin dashboard. Now, once you are on the WordPress dashboard, for most of you, this is probably the first time you have ever seen this. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what this is and how all of these certain elements work. So if you just go to the top left corner right here, you should see your domain. So we can go ahead and click into this to go ahead and visit the site. And you should see maybe yours will look slightly different to this, but right now we have just a blank template. So this is how the website is actually going to look right now. But of course, we are going to go ahead and make changes to this later in the video. So let's just open a new tab and go back to the main WordPress dashboard. Over here, you can see this little kind of comment icon. If we click into this, we can see these are all of the comments that have been left on your WordPress site. So usually this is going to be more handy if you are running a blog and you are going to allow people to comment on this. As you can see, we have just an example here that is left by WordPress. So you can see the author right here and then the comment. And then we have a few different options, whether we want to unapprove this, reply to this, report this as spam, or just put this in the trash. Over in new, this is where we can add new things to our WordPress website, whether we want to add a new post, whether we want to add some media, so either a video or an image, add a new page to our site, add new users. So this, for example, is if you want to go ahead and add an employee or somebody else who is going to help you on this site, we can go ahead and click into here and set up a username for them, give them access via their email, and create a password and everything like this so that they can also access this WordPress account, make changes, and help you out on the site. Going down the left-hand side right here, we can see we have posts, so we can get a more in-detail view where we can view all of the posts, add new posts with AI, add a new post manually, see the categories and the tags. And all of this we will cover later in the video when we actually go ahead and start building the site and need to add new posts. We then have media, where we can either add new media or view all of the media we have. Then pages, where we can view the page or add a new one. Comments once again. We have contact forms. Then WordPress forms, this is a plugin. You may or may not have this pre-built in the site. And then down here, this is the appearance and plugins, which we will get to in a second. So I'm just going to go back to the main WordPress dashboard right here. So that is an overview and a basic guide to navigating the entire WordPress dashboard. In the next section of the video, we will be going ahead and installing a theme into our WordPress website. And this theme is essentially going to do all of the heavy lifting for us. So we don't need any crazy knowledge or skills when it comes to building the website. All we do is install the theme, and then we can go through and customize this theme using the drag and drop editor. So to actually go ahead and add in a new theme so that we can actually start creating our website, there is two different ways to do this. So the first way is we can actually go ahead and use some of the standard themes that are given to us by WordPress. So to go ahead and do this, if we just go over to appearance on this left-hand side, if you hover over this, it's going to open up this box at the side. And right here, we have themes. So we can go ahead and click into this. And you may have a few different themes that are already set here. So these are themes that are already added to WordPress, and you can see the theme that is currently active because it has this black box and says the active theme. If you want to go ahead and look at any of these other themes, we can click into live preview. And this is just going to give us an idea of how this theme looks. But this is not going to set this theme to actively be running on our site. As you can see, this one right now just has a massive version of my logo. So let's just back out of this. And if you actually like any of these themes and want to activate this as the main theme on your store, I will just go ahead and let's activate this one. It probably looks a little bit nicer. And as you can see, this is now active. So with this active theme, if I now go ahead and view my site once again, you can see the theme has changed to the new theme that I just set. So these are the pre-installed themes that are automatically going to come with WordPress. You may have more than this, you may have less than this. It just depends person to person, really. Now, if we want to go ahead and add more themes, we can go ahead and click on this button right here to add a new theme. So let's go ahead and click into this. And you can see these are a lot of different themes that are in the WordPress theme library, and we can choose between any of these. So from here, we can go through and just take a look at these. So for example, this Ocean WordPress, I can preview this. And that is going to load up this theme and just give us a basic overview. If you like the look of a theme, you can install it just like this. It's then going to go ahead and install. And then if I now back out to the main theme library by just going back to themes, you can see that the theme that I just added is now going to be installed. And then once again, I can activate this to be the main theme on my website. So that is the first method. And this is how you can use the WordPress themes and go ahead and install them on your site. Now, this way of going about things, I personally do not use it. I know a lot of people who do use this method, but the reason that I don't use this is because the default WordPress page editor is not the best, and I don't really like using this. So just to give you an example, I'm going to go to my site, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit this page. Now, this right here is the main page editor that we are going to get with WordPress. We can go ahead and add new elements here on the left-hand side. For example, we can drag certain things in. But in my opinion, this is kind of outdated. It just doesn't really feel the best to use, and I do not like going about it this way. So let's just go ahead and leave this. So the method that I personally use to go ahead and install themes and get the best possible page editor on WordPress is by actually installing plugins. Now these plugins are completely free, so let's go ahead and install the one that I always use. So if we go to plugins on this left-hand side, we can go ahead and click on add new plugin from this side menu. And this is going to take us over to the WordPress plugin store. Now in the top right corner, you will see this box that says search plugins. So in here, just go ahead and click on this. And then we want to search for starter templates. Once this loads up, this is the one that we are going to go for. It's called Starter Templates by Brainstorm Force. And if we go ahead and install this, not only is this going to give us much better templates that we can use for our site, but it's also going to give us access to Elementor, which is a much better page editor that is far easier and more effective to use. So once this is installed, we can go ahead and click on activate, and this is going to take us inside of Starter Templates. It's first of all going to ask, how would you like to build your website? So just click on the classic starter templates. I've tried out the AI website builder, but because it's still in beta, I just don't really like how this works. So we want to go for classic starter templates and just click build with template. And right here, it's going to ask us to select a page builder. So we have the choice of the standard WordPress one, Elementor or Beaver Builder, and Elementor is by far the best. So make sure you select Elementor right here. And as you can see, this is going to give us access to some far nicer templates. Some of these are premium, so keep this in mind. These are going to cost, but with just the free templates that we can get access to here, these are far better than the default ones with WordPress. Now, what you can also do is scroll right to the top here, and you can specifically search for templates for the type of website you are going to be building. For example, if I want to go ahead and build a dentist website, I can go ahead and type in dentist, just like this. And you can see I'm going to get a bunch of different dentist templates that I can use. So if you like the look of a template, we can click into this. And it's going to give us an overview of how this template is going to look. So I can look through here, decide if I like it, and if not, I can click on this X button and get taken back out to the main template chooser. So I'm just going to exit out of this. And we also have a few different categories at the top. So if we go for local business, we have like electrician, plumber, AC technician, we can do salon, beauty, all of these different ones. So just go ahead and search for the type of website you want to build and then choose a template that you like. Now, if you can't find a template that you like, or you are in a certain niche and there is no template specific to that niche, I recommend going for this one called Earth, just right here. It's called Planet Earth. So if you are building a store, you can go with the Planet Earth store. If you are building a blog or an affiliate marketing website, you can go with Planet Earth right here. In this example, I'm going to build a store, like an e-commerce store. So I can just go here and either go to e-commerce and then choose online shop, or I can just type in like e-commerce right here. And then I'm going to get brought up all of these templates. So in this example, I'm just going to choose this template right here called Organic Store. Click on this. And then once again, I can look through to see if I like this. As I said, this is the one that I'm going to go with. So once you have found the template that you like and you would like to build upon, we can now go ahead and start making some changes. So the first thing this is going to ask for is it's going to ask for a logo. So I would recommend going ahead and creating your logo now as the very first thing that you do. Now, if you have a logo, fantastic, you can just go ahead and upload it right here. However, if not, I would recommend using this website right here called Canva. Now, to create this logo, we do need Canva Pro. And usually, I think this is like $14 per month, maybe a little bit more. However, if you use the link down in the description of this video, you can go ahead and grab a free trial to Canva Pro for 30 days. And then all you need to do is create your logo and then cancel it, and it's not going to cost you anything. So once you are on Canva and you went ahead and grabbed Canva Pro, all we have to do is go to create a design in this top right corner. And then from this drop down menu, choose the logo option right here. If for some reason you can't see it, just type in logo and then this should pop up. And then we can go ahead and select the logo. That is going to take us over to this screen right here. And you can see we now have a blank canvas where we can start creating our logo. Now, the fantastic thing about Canva, and the reason I recommend this, is because they have a bunch of fantastic logo templates that we can choose from. So let's say you are creating a fitness website. We can type in fitness. And then as you can see, we have all of these different logos that we can choose from. Some of these are going to be pro, and then some of these are going to be free. But if you grabbed that free trial of pro, then you will have access to all of these different logos that you can choose from. So in this example, my website is going to be about dog treats. This is the website that I'm going to create. So in here, I'm just going to search for dog. And then as you can see, we have all of these different templates. So I'm just going to go down here and find one that fits my site and what I want to create. Okay, so I like the look of this one. It says dog goods for good dogs. I'm just going to go in here. So once this loads in, if you want to change the text, all we have to do is double click on the text that you want to change. And then I can change this to like GeForce North, or let's just leave it as GeForce. And once again, we can just click on here and change all of this text. So I'm going to leave this as this was, and then just change this at the side to say GeForce, and then spread this out a little bit, North, just like that. And then I now have my logo. You can also change the image if you have a logo that you like the look of, but maybe the image wants to change a little. You can click on elements on this left-hand side. And then we can go ahead and in this example, I can search for dog. Let's say that I want to use this one right here. I can just go in and delete the images in here and then resize this to be able to fit my logo. So I'm just going to go back and leave this as this was because I like the look of this logo. And then once you have your logo in right here, what I would recommend is just drag and grab all of this and make this a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to resize it to something like this. And then once you have all of this and you have your logo, all we have to do is click on share in this top right corner. And then once this box opens up, click on download right here and make sure to save this with a transparent background. Super, super important to do. And then once you have this saved, just go ahead and click on download. That's then going to go ahead and download the logo. So we can now go back over to our site. And then in this logo area, click on upload file. Right here, we can then select the file from our computer. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag this in. Once that is selected, make sure this has the tick icon. And then we can click on select. And just like that, I now have my logo on my website. We can also adjust the logo size using this slider at the bottom. So I'm just going to put this to maybe 140. And then once you are happy with the size of this and your logo, click on continue. The next thing that we can do is change the color and the font on the site. So you can click between either of these. And what I would recommend is just get this to match up with the logo. So this is a pretty similar color. I can go ahead and use this. And then with the fonts, we can also choose the font that we want to use on the site. And I actually quite like this one. So this is the one I'm going to go for. Once you have chosen the color and the font that you would like to use, go ahead and click on continue. And then it's going to say, okay, just one last step and ask for some information right here. I never enter anything here. Just go down and uncheck share non-sensitive data. And then we can go ahead and click submit and build my site. It's then going to go ahead and build the site, and usually this takes anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds for this to fully install and give you the template that we are going to use for the site. And just like that, we are taken over to the site, and you can see that all of the heavy lifting has basically been done for us. Now, don't worry if you are building an affiliate website or you are building a blog. Everything that I am going to explain here is still going to be valid and it's still going to work for you, as I'm going to give you a basic overview and show you exactly how you can edit the website no matter what type of website you are creating. To go ahead and do this, you can first of all scroll down and just see what is included on the website. But effectively, the website is made up of 3 different parts. So right at the top here, you can see where the logo is and where the menus are. This top bit is called the header. Then all of this in between, where the main bulk of the content is on the website, everything from here all the way down to the bottom right here, this is the main bulk of the website or the main content. And then right at the bottom here, we have this black section for me, but usually it will have site links, a logo, and a little bit of text. And this bottom bit is called the footer. Now, the way that we edit the header, the main content of the site, and the footer is slightly different. So first of all, we are going to go ahead and edit the main bulk of the website. And the way that we do this is by clicking this button that says edit with Elementor. So once we click into this, this is going to load up the Elementor builder. And as you can already see, this is just much nicer and, as I said, much more effective than using the standard WordPress editor. Now, my favorite thing about Elementor is just how simple it is to use. So let me give you an explanation of how this actually works. So over here on the right hand side, you will see that we have the Elementor navigator. Now this is going to be floating by default. You can drag this around so that it doesn't get in the way, or you can clip it to the side by simply dragging this over, and then it's going to be clipped to the side right here. I personally prefer this to be a little bit smaller and floating just so I can drag this around. And then in the navigator, you can see that we have a lot of different container sections. And this is going to show us each different section of the site. So if I go ahead and click on this top container right here, we can see everything that is included in this specific container by these 2 pink lines on either side. If I go down to the second container, once again, we can see these two pink lines, and this is everything that is included in this second container. Then the third one down, once again, the pink lines, and pretty self-explanatory. I think you get the idea. Now, if we go ahead and open up each container by clicking on this arrow, so I will select this top container once again, and we have this top container selected. If I go ahead and click on this arrow, you can see that in this section, it's made up by two different containers as well, and each one of these is highlighted in gray. I can go a step further and open this up, and you can see that this is the element right here. So we have an element that is inside a container that is inside another container. And if I go ahead and open this one up in this gray box, you can see all of the elements that make up this specific section. So that might be a little bit confusing. Hopefully you do understand the idea of this, but it doesn't matter if not, because honestly, it's super simple anyway. So let's say, for example, that I want to go ahead and edit some text. All I have to do is click on the text that I want to edit. And then over here on the left-hand side, it's going to open up the main control panel. So you can see the title right here is Join the Organic Movement. And in this left-hand side, I can go ahead and delete this text and type in whatever I want, and it's going to update in real time. So if I just go ahead and change this to GeForce North, that is going to be the title. And then underneath, we can add in a description. So once again, I'm just going to delete this text, and you can see it deletes in real time. And then I can go ahead and I'm just going to put this same tagline. So dog. So I'm just going to say dog goods for good dogs, just like that. And as you can see, this first section has been edited. Once again, if I want to edit this text right here, I simply click on the text and then I can edit it over on this left-hand side. If you want to go ahead and change things like the font size, the font color, you can also do this by using this panel on the left-hand side. Just go ahead and click into style here at the top, and then we can change the text color. So I will give you an example. I can change this to red, and you can see this updating in real time as I go ahead and move around this color. We can also change the font size and the actual font itself by using this typography section. So once again, if I just click on edit, you can see this box is going to open up, and then I can do things like tweak the size. I can go to family right here and change how the font actually looks. And then we have a few different things like weight, transform. And if you really want to, play around with this and really see what you can do with these individual tools, I would recommend just going ahead and doing that. But it's pretty simple and pretty self-explanatory. If you make a mistake, for example, this text is now red and I don't want it to be, what you can do is, if you recently made the mistake, is you can just hold Command and press the Z button if you are on Mac, or use Control Z if you are on PC. And that is going to take us back, and you can see it does one step at a time. Alternatively, if you once again made a mistake, what you can do is go down to this history button right here at the bottom. And then this is going to bring up an entire history of the site, and we can click through to see what changes we have made and then go back to the one that we want. So for example, I prefer this without the text. So I'm just going to go back to before I changed this text color, and I'm happy with that. To save your website at any time, click on this update button down here. And I just want to stress the importance of this. Make sure that as you are going through your website, as you are making changes, you go ahead and update this frequently in case you have a power cut or something just happens and you don't save your website. If you are on a different screen on this left-hand side and you want to get back to the main editor, you can do so by clicking on this square icon in the top right corner. And this is going to take us back to the main Elementor editor. You can drag and drop new elements at any time. So for example, if I want to add in a video, I can go to the video element on this left-hand side and simply drag and drop this in wherever I want on the site. As you can see, that video has now been dragged in. And then the way that I specifically edit that video, or the way that you edit any elements that you drag in, is over on this control panel on the left-hand side. So as you can see in this control panel, I can change the link of the video. I can also play around with the video options, whether I want this to autoplay, whether I want this to be on mute. And then once again, we can go over to style and play around with a few different settings. If you find elements that you want to delete, you can simply delete the element by first of all clicking on this, and then over on the navigator, that will automatically be highlighted. So let's just say, for example, that I want to delete this button. I can click into the button, and then as you can see, it's automatically going to highlight the button. I can then right click on this, and then from the menu that opens up, go down to delete and delete the element that I want to delete. So I'm just going to go back, and then I actually want this video to be deleted. So I will go to video and just go ahead and delete this. Images are also super simple. So for example, if you want to go ahead and change any image on your site, you can click into the image, and then over on the main control panel on the left hand side, this is going to open up and allow us to choose the image. So I can go ahead and click right here on choose image, and then go to upload files, and I can upload any files from my computer that I want to have on the website. So for example, I'm just going to go in here and upload this photo. Once again, make sure the photo that you want has this check mark icon next to it and it's fully loaded in. And once it is, we can click on select. And just like that, that photo is going to come in. Sometimes you will also have background images. For example, if I move this navigator, you can see I have this background image of, I think this is maybe a strain of wheat or something like that. But if you want to go ahead and remove or change this image, all you have to do is highlight the main container that this is in. So as you can see, I now have the container highlighted because I have these two pink lines. And then over on the left-hand side, the main control panel, we can go over to style, and then the image is either going to show up here in background, or if you cannot see the image here, go to background overlay. And as you can see, we have this image that you can once again go ahead and change if you want to do so. So that is an explanation of how this works. From everything that I just told you, you should now be able to go ahead and just click and change all of these certain elements in your site. This left-hand side, once again, is the main control panel, so you can control everything in here after clicking on these individual elements, and you can go through and make these changes. I also want to mention that if you want to add in new sections, you can go ahead and do this. Just select the section underneath where you want to add this new section, and then you can use this little plus icon to go ahead and bring in a brand new section. And then of course, we can go ahead and add in new elements. So I can drag a video in right here, and you can see I now have a new section that contains a video. The final thing that I want to mention when we are editing and changing the main bulk of the website is make sure to go down here and go into this mode called responsive mode. The reason that we do this is because this is going to allow us to view how the site is going to look on tablet. So this is how the site would look if you are viewing this on tablet. But most importantly, we can go to mobile and see how this site is going to look on mobile phone. A lot of people will actually overlook this, but it's super important because 80 to 90% of traffic nowadays, anybody coming to your site, 80 to 90% of the time, they are going to be doing this from their mobile phone. So you just want to go through here and make sure that this looks good on a mobile phone. So as I say, that is how you can go ahead and edit this main section of the website. I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And then once you have finished editing, you have made all of your changes and your website now looks how you want it to look. The way that we exit back out of this and we can edit the header and the footer is by clicking on this eye icon to preview changes. This is going to take us over to the preview section of the website. So we can now go ahead and close down the editor. And then to edit the header and the footer, instead of clicking edit with Elementor like we did last time, we are going to go over here to this customize button. This is going to open up this different editor on the left hand side. And as you can now see, we can go in here, and if we hover over these different sections, it's going to give us this pencil icon where we can go in and make changes. So for example, if I want to go ahead and change my logo, I can hover over my logo. That is going to bring up this pencil icon. So I can click into this. And then as you can see, I can now go ahead and make changes to my logo. Once again, I can drag the size up and down. I can remove the logo, make changes, and then choose if I want to show this on mobile or not. We can also do the same things with menus. So this is going to be important later on when we actually go ahead and add in new pages. But to edit your menus, you just hover over the menu, click on this pencil icon right here. And then as you can see, we can go ahead and configure this menu. So if I click into this, you can see we have a few different menus. We have the primary menu, which is shown right here, and the secondary menu. However, for most templates, you are only going to have one main menu up here, and then also your footer menu at the bottom. So if you do have two different menus, like I do here and here, then you can see both of the different menus. But for most of the templates, you are only going to have one primary menu, and you can edit this by clicking on Edit Menu. And then we can go ahead and like change this around. So you can see the order has now been changed. I'll just move this back. And we can also delete. So let's say I want to delete this section that says juice. Not really handy for a dog treat website. So I can click into this. And then as you can see at the bottom, we have this remove button. So that is now removed. If you want to add new items and pages, just click on add items right here. And then this is going to load up with all of the pages that we have on the store. So let's just go ahead and add this shop page, just like that. And as you can see, shop is now going to show up right here. With the menus, I wouldn't worry about that right now, as we are going to go ahead and go into how you can actually build and add different pages. So you probably want to do that first. And then when you have your pages, you can come back here and actually integrate those pages into the menus. So that is how we can edit the header, and then the footer is the exact same thing. So you can see I have another logo here. I can click into this, and then it's slightly different, but once again, I can just edit or replace the image and then upload my dog logo. And just like that, that is going to change. Maybe this is a little bit big. So I could go in and edit the image here and make this a little bit smaller. I'll just remove this for now. And then it's the same thing where any of these we can click into edit and then change the text right here. So I'll just say subscribe if this is valuable, just like that. And then as you can see, this is going to change. That is how you can edit the main homepage of your website, as well as the header and footer sections. Next, we will be adding some pages to this website. However, before we do that, we do need to go into the WordPress settings, make a few changes just to make sure that, first of all, the website works, and secondly, is actually optimized. So as I say, before we can go ahead and build in those different pages, we first of all just need to go into the WordPress settings and change some fundamental settings about the site. So what we want to do from here is just open up a new tab and then go back to the main WordPress dashboard that we have bookmarked. And then from here, just go to this section on the left-hand side and go all the way down to settings. Just go ahead and click into this, and this will bring us over to the main settings menu for WordPress. Now, the first thing that you want to do is sometimes this will automatically be updated to HTTPS, or sometimes on yours, it might just look like this, HTTP. If you have HTTP, just go after the P and add an S here. So this now says HTTPS, and then we can go down and click on Save Changes. Sometimes this is going to log you out, so just go ahead and log back in, and then you will be able to go down and save these changes. And the reason that we do this is just so that, once again, if I now go to the site and hit refresh, this is now going to have a secure connection, and we are not going to get any kind of error messages or spooky messages that say, hey, this website might be a scam. The second thing that we want to change is the site title right here. We don't really want the .com. It just doesn't look very professional when people are coming to the website. We only want that in the domain. So just go ahead and delete the .com. I'm actually going to change this to just say GeForce North without the hyphen. Just update it like that. And then once again, we can go down here and click on Save Changes. So that is all that we need to change in the general settings. Like, you can go down and change the date and time format if this is set to something weird that you're not used to. You can absolutely go ahead and change that. But in terms of the fundamental settings and the things that we really need to change, things that are important, on the general section, that is all we need to do. So just make sure that is all saved. The next thing that we need to do is, once again, if you just scroll down here to settings and you see this secondary drop down menu, just go to permalinks right here, because we are about to create some different pages. Now, by default, it's usually going to be set to either plain or custom structure. And if we take a look, this is how the page is going to look. So up here in the domain, right now, it's going to be yourdomain.com/ and then just a bunch of random letters. Instead, we want to change this to post name, as this looks a lot more professional when you have your domain that looks like this. So make sure that is set to post name, and then we can just go down and save changes. And just like that, we now have everything on the back end set up. We also have the website created. So now let's go ahead and actually start creating some different pages for the website. So to go ahead and do this, if you just go over to pages on this left-hand side menu, let's first of all open up all pages. So when you go to pages right here, you should be able to see some pre-built pages that are already on your website. Now, some of these are going to be super handy. So for example, we have about, cart, checkout. These are all going to be necessary for my store. However, if you see any here that you don't see a use of or you want to get rid of, all we have to do is go here and click on trash, and that is going to put it in the trash. Now, the ones that we do have, we of course want to make some changes to these. So for example, let's go to about right here. And if you hover over this specific page, you should be able to see edit with Elementor right here at the bottom. So if you go ahead and open this up, this is going to take us over to the page. And then once again, we have this Elementor editor. So it makes it super simple where we can click into text and then we can go ahead and make changes on this left-hand side. So we are your favorite store. Let's click into this and put, we make the best dog treats. I don't know, something like this. You get the idea. Super simple once again. And you can go down here, add in new sections. And after editing the main section of the website, like you probably just did, this is going to be super simple. So I'm not going to spend a bunch of time explaining once again how you can make changes to this. Let's just go ahead and back to the main dashboard right here. And let's go to pages. What we can also do is add in new pages. So all you would have to do is go to the pages once again, and then we can see add new page up here at the top. We can go ahead and open this up. And then of course, rather than being on this default editor, we want to click at the top here to edit with Elementor. And this is going to open up the Elementor editor so you can create a brand new page from scratch. Let's say we want to start out with a heading and say, here are some happy puppies. And then maybe, I don't know, I want to go down here and add in a bunch of images of happy puppies. So just like that, you can go ahead and create some new pages. Maybe you also want to create some blog posts here. You absolutely can. We would just drag in a text editor, and then you can go ahead and start creating your content right here and editing this all with Elementor. So if I now go ahead and go back to the dashboard right here, we can go ahead and visit the site, and effectively you now know how we can edit the header and the footer, how we can add the new pages that we just created right here. So for example, this is the happy puppy page. We can go into customize and then edit the header and add this into the menu. And you now know how you can go ahead and edit and change this entire website so that you can use this template and completely customize this into your own customized website. So that is how you can build a WordPress website using Hostinger. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.